Hello everybody, my name is Sara Vaca and I would like to say hi to everybody participating in the conference, The Future of Evaluation, Evaluation of the Future. And I would like to thank the Emerging Evaluators Thematic Working Group of the EES for organizing it and for inviting me. Okay, to very briefly introduce myself since we don't have much time. I had a crash on evaluation a long time ago and I realized that's what makes sense with my background as an economist and then working for some years in the private sector in quality control and then working for some years in international development. And so now I'm an emerging evaluator since June 2013, and most of the time I collaborate with I work as an independent consultant, but I also collaborate often with colleagues, and my main focus is to bring innovation into evaluation through data visualization. So let's go straight to the point of what I think one of the key issues of evaluation is, of course, evaluation use. And nowadays, many approaches contemplate the evaluation process as an intervention, but so far, many other evaluations still rely on the final stage of the process, which is, well, the final report, to provoke changes. And but the problem is that many of the reports, of course, they're long, and people that need to read them, they're very busy. So the result is that many evaluations are not as used as they could be. So to explain a little bit how I see what I see it could be a solution for this would be using data visualization, more data visualization in reports. These would probably create a better communication of evaluation results, which would lead to better evaluation use, apparently. So what is data visualization? Well, for me, it's just like telling a story, but relying more on a story your audience is interested in, of course, relying more on visuals than in text. And let's say it otherwise, it's like using shortcuts. Like our brain is gonna receive a message, and we can write it in words like this, the pink elephant, or we give our brain already the image, and so we save time translating it. Okay, so why I want to talk about visual thinking is because if you have this axis of not having that database or data visualization till having it, many stages have to occur. Like, for example, at the beginning you don't have data visualization, for example, then you think this report could be improved. Then you think, maybe I need some database, and then at some point you see in your head what you want, how you could communicate that in a visual way. And then maybe you can even sketch it if you see it in your head, and then you can do it and have it in your report. So for me, the gap between I need data visualization and I see it in my head is the biggest gap. Like, how can we develop this competence? And once you see it in your head, it's easy to have it done by you or by other person. So this means that what I think is that in this logic model, I would add visual thinking. Like, if you are used to think visually, data visualization will come naturally to your work, and not only in the final report, but also in many other stages. Okay, so let's talk about visual thinking for a little bit. I just have to warn you that this is very infectious. Like, once you start talking about it, you will probably get into it, and then you may end up obsessed, like a bit obsessed, like I am with this. All right, so let me go back a lot of a lot of centuries ago to tell you that in the origin humankind was very visual. Like we didn't have a language yet, and we used visuals to communicate to each other. Then, well, everything started to become more sophisticated, and then finally we invented a language and we invented how to write it down. If I go back into your life too, like in a parallel way, let me tell you that you were very visual too when you were a kid, and then they told you how to write and how to read, and that changed everything. That made a huge difference in your life and in your everything. And then you write reports and you read reports. That's like how. And what does it mean? I mean that we have forgotten about our visual competence. We don't use it anymore. Like once we start reading and writing, yeah, this competence is like left aside. And what I like is to awake yours, which is still there. Okay, so just to say that, for example, everybody relies on text, but for some security issues like airplanes or airlines, they rely on they don't rely on text, they rely on images. Or for example, companies like IKEA, or you could also change the way we share recipes. For example, instead of sharing a text, we could share it in images. I'm starting to explore how to make tables of contents in books and reports more visual, and this is a great example that is showing you like different chapters and it's explaining it to you visually at the same time. Well, this is my husband's CV, which I made like for fun. This is one of mine, for example. This is another tool that we are used to see in a very textual kind of way, but it could be more visual than it is. This is a histomap, which is like, I love it. Is the history of 4,000 years, sorry, explained by colors, by the different empires that were taking place or staring in each of the centuries. What else? I also love this representation of the immigration flows among the different countries in the different continents, for example. We have to make a slight difference between data visualization and information visualization, in the sense that, and also this is very useful for me for reports, like, or for executive summaries. What are we communicating? Are we communicating data, which is like the raw material what information is made of? Or are we communicating information, which I think is what we should be communicating in reports or in evaluation? And there's the next level, which is knowledge, which is just consequences of information. But the better we communicate the information and not the data, the easier would be to learn faster, I think. And just a little remark on bad content on bad format is not a good thing, right? And bad content on a very good format is a dangerous thing, because it can be misused. But at the same time, many times we have good content, but we give it a bad format, which is a shame. It's a pity, because then we cannot it's not highlighted enough. So I think we should try to improve like the format of our content. Of course, I think we need to do all the time is like to ask our audiences and to see what are their needs and how they would like to see the evaluation results, in which form they would like to see it communicated. Like there's no rules. And of course, once you start using data visualization, there are many resources that I have no time to share with you now. But yeah, just to share a very quite complete recopilation of graphs. And just to share my formula with you, I use a lot of inspiration, for example, from Twitter, and I use a lot of iteration, like in paper. And then, well, my routine, like walking a lot, that helps me and things like that, to see it in my mind, as I was sharing at the beginning. And well, just if you want to improve your reports and make them more visual, just try to add one new element in each report, and in a little while you will have more visual reports. Yeah, look for inspiration and iterate and take some risk, because of course this is kind of new and not everybody is used to it. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. I leave you my email here in case you want to stay in touch. And these would be my topics for discussion. Would you recommend visual elements in every report? To which extent? And how about in executive summaries? And after that, who should be in charge of doing the data visualization or the information visualization? Every evaluator, or someone in your team, or how would you deal with that? Since you're emerging evaluators, maybe that should be something emerging or new generations of evaluators should have in their toolkit. Okay, thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Bye.